my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you are so very welcome indeed. Do you love my earrings? They are little pina colada drinks. Adrian bought them for me. Oh, it was so touching. He said, Mommy, I got you some earrings, and these are what he got me. And I said, you know what, Fums, you're going to wear them today. Why not? Okay, my darling, so why are we here? We are here because YouTuber Candace Owens is being sued by the French President Emmanuel and his First Lady Brigitte Macron because Candace has accused the First Lady of France of being a man.
French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte are suing right-wing podcaster and conspiracy theorist Candace Owens. The defamation lawsuit filed today in Delaware claims that Owens has engaged in a, quote, relentless and unjustified smear campaign against the couple. The complaint goes on to allege that Owens spread outrageous conspiracy theories that France's First Lady could be a man, that the Macrons are related in committing incest, and that the Macrons, the couple, is being controlled by the CIA. Obviously, those are deranged claims. In response to the filing, Owens posted a screenshot of a news story about the lawsuit on her Instagram page and wrote, I will be coming for this wig today, stay tuned. Owens has, of course, a history of all sorts of deranged conspiracy theories and vile anti-Semitic rhetoric. She was temporarily suspended from YouTube for anti-LGBT comments. Joining us now to discuss is Tom Clare, the lawyer for the Macrons, Emmanuel and Brigitte. And we should note that if people recognize you, they might remember you from the Dominion case, suing Fox News for defamation, which resulted in a $787.5 million settlement from Fox, but who's counting? So the lawsuit claims that this has been a year-long campaign by Candace Owens. Why are the Macrons suing now? Like, what changed? Why sue now?
Well, this was really a last resort. We have attempted to engage with her for the last year, putting evidence in front of her, request after request after request, that she just simply do the right thing. This is not a legal thing. Do the right thing, tell the truth, stop spreading these lies. And each time we've done that, she mocked the Macrons. She mocked our efforts to set the record straight. She refused to retract what she had said. She started a merch campaign. She's selling T-shirts mocking and celebrating her defamation of them. And enough is enough. It was time to hold her accountable for this campaign.
Now, I'm going to divide this in two. I don't know whether I should start with Candace or I should start with the First Lady Brigitte Macron. I'm just thinking. Let me start with Brigitte Macron. Why not? Brigitte Macron is an attractive 70-plus-year-old woman who is married to Emmanuel Macron. She met him, or they started their relationship of sorts, when she was 39, a teacher, and he was only 16 years old. Let me read a little bit for you. In 1993, at the age of 39, she met 15-year-old Emmanuel Macron in La Providence High School, where she was a teacher and he was a student and a classmate of her daughter. Brigitte divorced Azuré in January of 2006 and married Macron on the 20th of October in 2007. How Emmanuel's parents discovered that their son was dating his 40-year-old teacher. Let me just give you a little bit of that. A new biography of the French President Emmanuel Macron has revealed his parents' shock when they discovered their 16-year-old son was having an affair with his married teacher. Much has been made of the fact that centrist Macron is married to Brigitte Trongenor, a woman 24 years his senior. He met as a 15-year-old schoolboy when she was a teacher at La Providence, a private school in Amiens, northern France. The schoolboy's parents had believed their son was dating his teacher's daughter, Laurence, until the truth came out through a family friend. I think Brigitte Macron looks amazing at 72. They married much later when he was older, an adult, and still the relentless and unconditional love for her was there. I think in many ways she has been judged by society. And I personally say that if my 16-year-old son was falling in love or in love with a 40... Let me close this window. And if I felt that my son was dating a 40-year-old woman, I would be upset. I would be upset at her because she's a full-fledged adult and knows better. I'm a 56-year-old woman, and I do get compliments from much, much younger boys. That's what I consider them, because I tell them, I'm your auntie, I'm your mom, I'm your big sister. Am I flattered? Yes, I am. But it stops right there, because it's nothing but a crush. I'm under the impression you must have been a phenomenal teacher, you must have looked amazing, that you were extremely inspirational, of course to Macron, and you look beautiful. But the court of public opinion felt different, that you should never have taken it upon yourself to carry it out, because by you being older you should have known better. I know as a mother that Emmanuel's parents would have wanted him to have his biological children, of which you would have been too old to give him at the time that you met him. I cannot, me personally, fathom a 16, 17, 18, 20-year-old and marry him. I cannot. It's not a crime. It's not a crime. But the court of public opinion silently felt different. I will go further to say, had you had a crystal ball to look at your future, you would not have married Emmanuel, not knowing that he would become the president of France, and not knowing in some way, shape or form, your karma would come to you in the form of Candace Owens. Because, let's push aside whether you're a man or a woman, let's push that aside for 1 minute. Because Emmanuel was 16, and some people will sit back and say, why would you do something like that? It is what has allowed the bees to swarm around you and say, if her ethics and principles could be in this margin, who's to say she couldn't pretend that she is of a different gender? If this issue had never happened, then Candace's accusations would have fallen on the floor. I believe humbly. I also sit back and I say to all of us, for those that don't want to believe in AI, for those that believe that the world will stay the same, the world has changed. My husband said in 2014, Fumi, YouTube will be the new TV. It will take over mainstream media. And this will be the way people consume information. This is a classic case. Because Candace is a YouTuber, an influencer, and her influence is global. It is that influential that the President of France and his wife and so many others have taken notice of the influence and the channels of which other news media get their information about the French president and his wife. The case is right here laid in front of us. That's how influential social media is. That's how influential and powerful influencers are. If somebody accuses me of something and I know it's not true, as difficult and as hard and maybe offensive, I would laugh. I would make fun of it and I would move on. That's hand on my heart. That's what I would do, because I know the truth. It wouldn't bother me. Who is this little girl? Who is this girl that is saying all of this nonsense? But somehow it has affected you, and we even had President Trump reach out to Candace Owens to say, Candace, please, because what you're saying about this couple, it's affecting the relationships between America and France. I also want to say, Brigitte Macron, Madame Brigitte Macron, because you're older than me, you could very easily be my mother. I am sorry that you're going through this. And I don't believe it. I never believed it. Regardless of the 8-part series that Candace had on her channel. It's just too far-fetched for me to absorb. For me personally, I don't believe it. And I am sorry that it has given you so much distress that you hear this every day when you walk out of your home. But I wanted you to understand how this kind of sort of came about. It was self-inflicted in many ways for something that I feel you morally ignored and you should have paid attention to many years ago. Even if he came back as an adult, you were his teacher. He was a boy. And even though you might have loved him, it was the one person you should have said no to. And somehow, this life, as it does, has come back to collect. I wish you the very best, and I hope that this can be settled in some way, shape, or another. Let me get some lip. Candace Owens. I never heard or never knew, never saw Candace until Justin Baldoni's case. Never heard of her. I don't know where I was. I must have been under a rock. But I had never paid attention to her, let me say that. And I didn't know, I would never have placed a name to a face until the Justin Baldoni's case, of which I have covered many episodes on this channel. I don't know Candace Owens personally, so I'm just going to tell you how I saw her, how I felt about her when I first went on with this Justin Baldoni's case. Candace, to me, was beautiful, electrifying, intelligent, charismatic, energetic. I looked at her and I said, this girl can be the future first female president of the United States. I thought she was magnificent. All of us, so many YouTubers, carried this Justin Baldoni's case. I'm saying it now. I felt she single-handedly changed the trajectory of the Justin Baldoni's case. She was good. She was better than good. Game recognizes game. This girl had star quality. I saw it in droves. And she was going live without skipping a beat, without slipping her tongue and eye contact. It was beyond for me more than her team. This girl had it. She had the X factor. And I was so proud of her of what she did with the Justice-Baldoni's case. I found myself listening to her and nodding my head in agreement because I was also doing my research and I was also covering the case. She is a mother of 4 children, 3 boys and I think a girl. She just had another child. She's married. And as I did my research about her, I realized that we did not agree about many things, many things. But it did not take away from me admiring her for that Justin Baldoni's case. She went on to do the 8-part series of Brigitte Macron. Like I said earlier, I didn't believe it. I don't believe it. It's not taken away from whatever research that Candace has done. I just feel that it's just too far-fetched for me. So that was that. Again, like I said, we have our differences, but I respect her for what she does. And the irony of it all is that Candace's platform is 4 million and change, I think. But I've seen bigger platforms than Candace's. But it's not the numbers. For me, it's that Candace is a very rare species for me. That's how I look at her. And very powerful and very strong. So that was that. She went on to do the Harvey Weinstein series. And Candace, my love, I can tell you, you're wrong about that. That's something that I do know about. And I can tell you, you're wrong. Candace. How old is Candace? Let me also find that out because She's 36. So that is 20 years between us. Like I said before, I think you're magnificent and you are solid at what you do. You've achieved a lot and you've had, from the research that I have read, you've done extremely well for yourself. I am talking to you as a big sister because I want you to continue to fly. I want you to really excel. But I want you to think of your children. I want you to think of your husband. I want you to think of your extended family and friends. I also want you to think of you and think of your safety. It was so beautiful to hear your husband say he prays for you and he prays for your safety. I do too. I pray for you. I pray for all. This episode is not about taking sides. It's about everybody catching a breath and being reasonable. Because I heard your response in relation to the Macron suing you for defamation.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. We'll figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
You're young. You're 36. And life is interesting. And it takes certain turns that you don't expect on a Tuesday afternoon coming home from work. Whatever you know, whatever you believe you know, whatever facts that you might have, I only ask you why. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? Because it's hurting a lot of people. It's hurting a lot of families. And Candace, if this is not true, if this is not true, it will not look good on you. I think what I'm trying to say is, Candace Owens, beautiful, check. Young, check. Intelligent, check. Could be anything and everything, check, check, check. You have been given everything. I know there are colleagues that are in ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN that would have loved to be like you. And you have it all. Don't blow it. Don't gamble everything you have for something like this that will destroy everything. That will now make you look not credible. And that's not to say that you don't have people that, you know, have very strong opinions about you in the African American community, especially what happened with the Black Lives Matter, in the LGBTQ community. There are so many. And I am not giving you a pass on any of that. But I do think that this one will bury you. I do think so. And I want you to catch a breath and know that everything will be on stake for you on your side. I'm older. You know, I've done my thing. I'm enjoying my life in many ways. And I have 20 years on you because I have gone around the moon 20 times. And I've been humbled in my journey. And I am not reckless with whom I love. I think that's where I'm coming from. It's not worth it for me. Let somebody else do it. It's not always the ones that have these qualities that make it. Sometimes, in going forward with their recklessness, with arrogance also, with blindness, you self-destruct. And I say that, Candace, because when I was doing my research, I didn't know that you and Cardi B got into it. And Cardi B accused your husband, I think, of sleeping around or something. And you were so upset, you said you were going to sue, you were going to this, you were going to that. Because it was a lie. You can imagine now how Brigitte Macron must be feeling when she tells you it's a lie and you continue to pursue it. Can you imagine if Cardi B has continued to pursue it for over a year? Remember what we do unto others and how it is done unto us, because we're Christians. I just want you to absorb all of this. Because when we are young, we really are reckless. We don't mean to be. But we feel as if we can live forever. And it's true in many ways. For my generation, Whitney Houston was alive. Michael Jackson was alive. Prince was alive. James Brown was alive. I could stay awake for 2 days straight. I was alive. And it was as if the world wouldn't stop. It stood its place for me. That's how I felt. But alas, time moves on. And you look back and you thank God for the memories. Because if you didn't have that, it's very hard to believe that it happened in the first place. Candace, you're on fire. I get it. But the flame will dwindle over time. Be careful, Mama. Be careful. Just be careful. I don't know what else to say. You have to speak from a place of fact. It has to be factual. And before it gets out of hand, I just thought I would come out here in these YouTube streets and give everybody some advice. As far as I'm concerned, the French President Emmanuel Macron, you have a country to run. That you're suing her seems ludicrous to me because you have other important things to do. Candace, while you are pushing this, drop it down in the comments. A lot of you will tell me, watch the series, then you will know this, that, and the third. I know that. What I'm saying is, to what end? To what benefit? Candace, are you doing this? Let it not be ego. Let it not be arrogance. Let it not be the blinding recklessness. Remember your 4 beautiful children. Remember your husband. Remember those that you love. It's so easy to go ahead now. And then you look back and you say, I wish I coulda, woulda. And it's always too late. And that's where I'm coming from. It's not worth it to me. There are about 50 topics that I let slide. I could have done them. I chose not to. Because I love my family. Because it's not worth it for me. It's not worth it for my career, for my legacy. Not worth it. Would I have liked to do them? Yes. I chose not to. Because when you get to my age, you just don't want to be reckless. And there are other things that are more important to you. That's the beauty about age. And that's why I won't trade it for youth. I will try and keep up what I got, but I won't trade it for youth because I was young and I didn't know what I know now, and what I know now is priceless. Brigitte Macron is in her 70s, I'm in my 50s, and you, Candace, you're in your 30s. And I think that you should also speak to her with a little respect, although you might feel she doesn't deserve any. We have to be careful. And Candace, please, I am not saying you're telling lies, because I truly believe you believe what you believe. And you believe what you're saying. Let us step back for 1 second and think about if it is not true. Brigitte Macron, do you really want to go down this rabbit hole? It's also another question. You know, when the video came out of Brigitte pushing her husband in the plane as they had just landed, it just occurred to me that perhaps they were quarreling over this, because she felt her husband wasn't taking enough of a stand. And in many ways, his hands are tied. because America has their own policies and the French have their own policies. It remains to be seen, and I will follow up this case. I hope Candace and the French president and the First Lady can come to some sort of understanding. Although the way Candace responded, I don't think so. I'm just coming from a place of reasoning and peace, but perhaps that in itself, the ship has sailed. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and really drop it down in the comments. Let's get the conversation popping. All of my love.